Sure, everybody come in, all my YouTubers, Facebook, Instagram. How y'all doing, man? Good people. How you guys doing today? This your boy Surrender, man, back in the building. Just kind of want to brush up on a little bit of the velocity banking for a lot of you guys that are very much interested in that. I sure appreciate the love you guys are giving us on that. Go to Leafofvitalessentials at YouTube, and you can look at that video and a lot more. Kind of give you a synopsis of what velocity banking is. I don't really want to go all the way over velocity banking, but I do understand that there's a lot of people out there that may not necessarily be in a situation where they got to pay off their home. And so there's some other things that you can do to continue to reinvest, and there's some other things you can do with the cash flow that you have in order to continue to amass wealth and continue to build on the cash flow. And one of those things is dividend investing. Now, I don't know if you guys know about the stock market, but if you don't know, well, this video should be able to help you out. All right. So what's dividend investing? Well, this is a unique way to continue to get a check coming on either a monthly, a quarterly, or yearly basis. And I know a lot of us, that's what we're looking for. We want our money to make money for us, right? So we want to be able to build wealth. Build wealth. And how you do that is be able to know that you got checks coming in and you ain't got to do too much for it, right? Just sit on your butt and wait on the mailman. And this is one of the ways how to do that. So dividends is when you want to receive a check all the time. And one of the unique things that we can do with velocity banking is once we got our debt out of the way, and we want to begin to look at either real estate as an investment, look at stock market as an investment, or look at business, which I'll be doing a video here shortly on the business aspect of what you can do after you've gotten all your debt out of the way and you want to start building wealth. All right. So you don't necessarily always have to go into real estate when doing velocity banking. You can go into the stock market, you can go into business, or you can go into all 3, 4, or 5 phases of getting cash flow. How the rich people do it. That's how the wealthy live, off of the investments. All right. So this is what we need to know about if we want to try to do dividend stocks. All right. One thing you need to know about is non-cyclical stock, right? Non-cyclical stock is stocks that do not necessarily go up and down with the business cycle. All right, so you got cyclical stocks. They're gonna, when the market is up, they're up. When the market is down, they're down. All right, they kind of go with the business cycle. So you have to know a little bit more about stocks if you really want to deal with the other kind of growth dividends. All right, but if you're talking about just dividends, then you want to go with non-cyclical stuff. Those are the things that continue to stay steady. If the market goes up, it still stays steady. If the market goes down, it's steady. Now, the one con to that is that if the market goes up, you don't get to catch that bounce. It stays steady. All right. And the pro to it is that if the market crashes, normally these things continue to remain steady. All right. So those are the stocks that you definitely want to go into, especially if for those people who are, let's say, 40 plus. All right. Because for 40 plus people, you're not trying to necessarily invest for, 15, 20 year, 25 year periods of time unless you want to. For most of us, we're trying to do 5 or 10 year kind of a wealth building plan so that we can be on our way and retire at 50, 60 years old. Now, for, 18 to 39, 18 to 40, maybe those people can do the cyclical and the non-cyclical stocks and kind of, have a diversity of all of them so that they can kind of build. And also, too, as we keep going, I'll let you see as far as the yield. The younger you are, you may be able to be a little bit more flexible on what these stocks actually yield. Where as you get a little older, you need to stay within a 4 to 6% yield rate because you don't have the time, for the growth you need for it to be at a high yield already so that you can start maximizing your return. All right. Return, ROI. You want to maximize your return. And one of the great things about dividend investments is that it's an immediate return on the investment. Now, I don't advise people to go out and just start, messing with their dividends as soon as they come in. I would advise you to continue to invest. right? The first year you should continue to reinvest your dividends. Now here's the kicker. This is so good that the first year you're going to see residual. You're going to see payments. You're going to see checks coming in, man. But just go and put them right back in. Continue to buy more stock and continue to buy more stock and continue to build your dividends. And then that way you're getting compound interest on your money. All right? Compound interest on your money. So dividend investing, we can do that. And we just need to look at non-cyclical stocks. Some of the great stocks to look at. I give you my top 3 places to look at, right? When you're looking at stocks, let me see. Let me go to another pen here so I can really get y'all up on here. Huh? Now, when you're looking at for stocks and you don't really know what to look for, I'm gonna give you 3 of the main stocks. So let's say you got $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $100,000. I don't know how much money you guys got out there, but it really don't matter to me. Okay, all I want you to understand is these are the 3 stocks that you should look for, regardless of how much money you got. Right? These will always pan out very well for the investor. All right. The number 1 stock that you should look for in a dividend growth portfolio should be some type of medical device company. All right? Some type of medical device company, some type of pharmaceutical tech company, some type of healthcare company, right? That's the number 1 thing, because why? We're all got to go to the hospital. We're all going to get sick at some point. All right? So that is going to be number 1. All right? Number 2. The number 2 stock you should look for is food and beverage. Food and beverage, non-cyclical stock. Right? You should look for food and beverage. Why? Because we all got to eat and we all got to drink. So when we're talking about medical devices and healthcare, you can be talking about Johnson and Johnson. All right. I have a healthy choice because I like herbs and everything. There's a great company out there dealing with health products and all that called the Himalaya company. All right. And how you look for companies? Yahoo Finance. Go to Yahoo Finance and begin to start looking at companies, looking at the stock. Apple just came out with a great stock, and it's at a low interest entry rate right now. So you might want to be looking at Apple. That's something for the 18 and 39-year-old, but it may still be able to do some great payouts for you here if you go ahead and get in now. All right, because Apple just started up, so it's at a low entry rate. And that's what you want to kind of look at, when to get in and when to get out. That's a whole nother video. But right here, we just want to keep it short and sweet and let you guys know exactly what you can do when you have some money in your pocket and that you don't know what to do with it. And you need to make this money make money for you before you lose it all. All right. And these things here. Now, I tell you one great thing about dividend stocks as well. This money does get taxed, but at a lower rate than you get currently taxed on your paycheck. Dividend stocks are normally around 15%, where you guys are normal, us all, we're normally around 35-40% getting taxed, all right, on our paycheck. So once you start living off this, you're going to be getting the lower tax off this also, all right? So remember that. Remember that. All right, now here, number 3, food and beverage. You're looking at Pepsi, Coca-Cola. You're looking at Kraft and Heinz. Those are some of the big name brands of food places that you can kind of look for. Or you can just, like I said, go and Google some top food companies to look for. Look at the stock on Yahoo Finance, NASDAQ, S&P 500. Find you some good companies. Research the companies so that you feel great about who you're investing in if you care about that type of stuff. Hey, man, and then go at it and do what you got to do here, man. All right, and so the third one is going to be... We got medical, we got food, and now we got basic needs. All right? Basic needs. All right, this is going to be your stuff like toilet paper. All right, we all need toilet paper. This is going to be your stuff like shampoos. All right? This is also going to be diapers. All right? All those types of companies that make those types of things that we need on a necessity. Shampoo, lotions, all of these different types of things that we know we need to have when you're talking about a lot of the women apparel, maybe some um, maxi pad companies and tampon companies, some of those types of companies too, as well. Basic needs, right? Even if you don't know anything else and you just put your investments in these three companies, three non-cyclical companies like this here, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. Now, just to give you a synopsis of what the yield is, right? When you say, well, what am I looking for on the yield and what am I looking for? You're looking for the yield. And also when you're looking at your companies, you're looking for the 5 or 10 year growth. Every year you want to see that company grow. Every year you want to see that company grow in revenue. Every year you want to see that company grow in net income, right? And when you're looking at a company's net income, what you want to do is look at their net income versus what the payouts are to get you a kind of percentage of what they pay out. And the kind of rule of thumb to look for companies and what they pay out is you never really want to get with a company that has paid out more than 50% of their growth, because pretty much what happens is once you get at 70, 80%, that company is almost at its top. How much more could it pay out? So the ideal point is to look for anything 50% or below on payout. And how you do that is you have to do the ratio, the payout ratio, and that's with the net income versus what they're paying out on stocks. But a number one thing to look at for is the yield. How much is it yielding? And you want companies that are yielding between 4 to 6%. That way you can, in 5 to 10 years, be able to kind of comfortably get to where you're trying to go. And this is how things look financially, right? So if you had $5,000, and let's say we'll use the middle number here, so we'll say 5% yield, right? 5% yield. So if you put $1,000 on a 5% yield, that'll be $50 a year. You get a $50 check a year, all right? Now let's say if I had $5,000 on a 5% yield, how much would I get in a year? $5,000 investment on one of these stocks with a 5% yield will give me a $250 check that I can depend on coming every year. But we know that that's not enough. So what we have to do with velocity banking and all of these particular financial understandings is it's all about planning. And I know that a lot of times when we go to work, some of us just don't see the reality in work, right? We don't see why work is necessary. A lot of us don't feel enthused to tell me to be able to go to work and just pay bills. That don't just ruffle my feathers that much. It doesn't motivate me that much. But if you have a understanding of how to work your finances, if you have an understanding of how to understand credit and debit, if you have an understanding of how to utilize income and expenses and that understanding, that philosophy, velocity banking for essence, then now I feel a little bit more enthused because now I know what to do with this job money. See, now I know that I'm just not imprisoned to working forever. That now this job makes sense. Now I know what I can do with the check, right? Now I know that I'm just not imprisoned to just this rat race continuously, right? So we have to have ideas and we got to know financial planning. We have to understand the concept of finances. And this is our way out. We use other people's money to make money for us so that we don't have to necessarily work until our bones wither up, all right? This is what this is all about. So $5K will give me $250. $10,000 will give me $500 a year. $25K will give me $1,250 a year. So if you and your family need about $100,000 a year to live off of, whatever you are right now, some people are going to be different than others. Some people can say, hey, we ourselves can live together off of $40,000, $50,000 a year. You got to look at when you get older, when you're 70, 80, 90 years old. Are you really going to need $100,000, $1 million or whatever? I don't know. That is on you. You have to break that down to figure out what do we need as a family. Once you do that, all right, then you understand what I need to invest. So a $50K investment here only gives me $2,500 a year. Now, a lot of us can't live off $2,500 a year. All right, so let's keep going. $100,000 equals $5K a year. So if I put $100,000 into the investments, I'm only going to really be getting $5,000 in dividends checks a year. That's not enough. What do I need? So just for making a $50,000 a year, let's say I needed $50,000 a year to live off for the rest of my life and I'd be okay. I need to invest $1 million. Do you guys understand that? I need to invest $1 million in the market for me to continuously, until the day I die, receive $50,000 a year. This is no joke. This is how finances work. Nothing is a get rich quick scheme, but there are financial principles that we can use to reach financial freedom. Velocity banking can help you get all of your debt out of the way and begin your investment portfolio in real estate investments, in dividend growth stock investments. Also, too, you can begin to start investing in your own businesses. This is the concept of velocity banking. All right. Now, if you guys don't understand that, if you need any more instructions, if you got any comments, man, feel free to hit the comment box, like, share the video, subscribe, whatever you guys got to do to get the word out. But this is one way for the next 5 to 10 years to build you a pension plan off of putting your money into dividend growth stocks. Another way is to use velocity banking. So you say, well, where would I get the 5 to 10,000, 25? Velocity banking. Putting all your money into your line of credit and building your credit up so that you get $10, $15, $20,000 credit line, and then you take that money, you write you a big fat check, and you put it into your stocks, or you put it into real estate, and you put it into your businesses. This is what we're talking about. Until next time, I love you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it, man. Surrender, Leafofvitalessentials.com. Peace.